How much into this? The Kuda here is, as I understand from title, the inside doings of the Sikhs. So a little bit to tell the history of the Sikhs and how it came about. Obviously, you don't need me here to be able to tell you the importance of learning Bukut Sikhs. So I'd have more time, I'd go into that also, but we all know that. The Sikhs are Bechal der Rebbe's Teire. I just want to start off with something. This Friday, someone showed me, he got on his phone, on WhatsApp. It's not the basis for this man, because there's a Shem of Kabbalah. So a certain clip, so he showed me the clip. What was the clip? There was a bocher talking, and he started, his conversation started advertising like it. He says, you know, I just read 3 books that gave me the insight of the Rebbe that I never saw before. The Rebbe's greatness, the Rebbe's leadership, the Rebbe's seeing the future, the Rebbe's godless, the Rebbe's sitkis, the Rebbe's learning, scholarship, and the Rebbe's Abbas Yisrael. Mamish, 3 books that I just read, and I really recommend everybody to go to the bookstore and buy these books. And I'll show them to you. He takes out the Kutas Sikhs, Teiras Menachem, and the Ikras Kedish. That's what it is. This is what is our books that we have to see from there, the godless of the Rebbe and the Rebbe's guidance and the Rebbe's things. Anyway, when he gave this, we all know what Kutas Sikhs is. The Rebbe's for it. Just want to say the history of what it is. Things which were very posh, everyone lived it. Nowadays, the younger people, some people don't even know how it happened. We know the Rebbe, like Fabrengen, spoke all kinds of inyanim. Every Fabrengen, he would speak Niglich, Siddhis, Kabbalah. Was me Vilna, Kol Kul, everything was in Fabrengens. The Rebbe did not write down the Sikhs that he spoke. Didn't write down the Mamorim either. The other Rabbeim would write down the Mamorim themselves. The Rebbe didn't. The letters that he has, the Rebbe should, he says he has no time, whatever, but the Rebbe didn't. But the Sikhs, the Rebbe didn't write the Sikhs. Now, sometimes it would be that for some specific occasion, that was a Sikha that the Rebbe said that was important for something, a mitzvah or something that the Rebbe wanted, they would give in the Sikha of the Rebbe to the Magiya, and the Rebbe was Magiya the Sikha. But that was a Yetzim and a Klal, that was special things. But generally speaking, the inyanim of the biyurim that the Rebbe said constantly on the Parsha, Magimor, and whatever it is, if you see this, the Rebbe was never Magiya. What was? There were Hanochas written. Hanochas written first till Tovshin Chav Gimel, Chav Dalet, Chav Hey, or Rabbi Yale used to write all the Hanochas. Then it switched, he was busy with the Sefer Erkim, so then Bochum started, that's when it started getting the name Hanochas Atmimim Giltimugin. There was a whole discussion, I remember when we started this, what to call it. We didn't want to call the word Hanochas Atmimim, it's a copyright of Rabbi Yale, so we changed it to Hanochas Atmimim Giltimugin, as you see, because we felt it's not as good as his. Anyway, so this is just the Hanochas. After the Fabrengen, the Chayzri, Bereshim of Rabbi Yale, everyone knows, I mean, his mind is brilliant, he has a phenomenal zikoron, and not so much his zikoron as much as his tfisa. Kosher teifes, Ainian, that's how he remembers it, even more than the zikoron. He's the main chayzer, but there were other chayzerim, and there was a certain time when the Rebbe was Mamaneh, Sabbath, Pashas, Shalach, Toshin Chava, the Rebbe was a man of 4 Bochum to become official chayzerim. So they would have shaylas on the sikhs, and the Rebbe wanted the shaylas should be asked. So they would give in shaylas to the Rebbe, ask the Rebbe questions, and the Rebbe would answer. I made copies here of some of the things. So let's look at, it's hard, there's no numbers here, so just to show you, where are numbers? Yeah, sorry, there are, yeah. You see, take page number 6. Look how it starts. This is a letter to the Rebbe, but it's not an official letter via Chassid Shaykh to Rebbe, but it's also Chassidim Gishim, no one else wrote it. But not, it's a this is Poshet, Shailas and Fabrengen. This boyer, Bekvirish Rasha, this and this. And the Rebbe would answer, you see all this Ksav Yad, these were all the answers of the Shailas. Look at the next page, it's a Hemshech, page 7. Page 8 is from a different Fabrengen. And you see all this, and the Rebbe would, many times, not many, usually, by answering the Shailas, he would add a lot of depth into what he said by the Fabrengen. Because we have to know what he said by the Fabrengen. Really, there was much more in what he said than what you think he said. The Rebbe's line was always, Ten lachocham v'yech kameid. There is much more. So when you start looking into the Mekeiris and looking at what he said, is you get deeper understanding of what he said. On the other hand, vet kashis, and you ask the Rebbe, and the Rebbe would answer. There were some individuals, not as official chayzim, people also would ask shaylas. That's why if you look at page 9, Page 9 is a letter from a yochid, from a private person who wrote to the Rebbe, and he asked, the hemshech le'isvad is the tmeil, when we shall mushlik lehiski this and this, he asked me, Shaila, you see the Rebbe's ksav, but the Rebbe answers. Sometimes it would be that not only the Rebbe would answer Shaila, the Rebbe himself would, after Shabbos, send out a tzedek, in addition to the Fabrengen. And I would get it many times. Whoever was there first from our group would get it. The moshel, this zettel here to end. If you notice, like you can't see the copy, actually, this is written on an envelope, on a torn piece of envelope. The truth is, I meant to bring the original one to show. It was such a rush when I left it. I forgot. But, see, the Rebbe himself wrote, Lahachmis Baharad, to add in the Rishimas Dvorim, in the Hanoche, that's what the Rebbe called it. And he added, B'muzgir. This is not interessant. Put it in parentheses when you put it into the Hanoche. Why? Shalei niske b'isvadis, because I didn't mention the Fabrengen. So if you didn't mention it, it's a separate category, whatever it is, whatever the pshat should be. And he goes in and he says it based on what he said, Al pi anal, maturas gamkein, and this and this and this thing. So this is after the Fabrengen. The hanochas would be made, and the questions were asked, and the Rebbe would answer, and the answers would go in, if it was possible, if it was enough time, it would go into the Fabrengen. And that's how it went out all the years. Now, one year, Tovshin Yud Ches, which was before my time, but this is the history the way I know it. This was the year Chotes, right before Yutes. Yutes, Yud Dalet Kislev was the Rebbe's Chassan anniversary. It was 30 years. So people got together, they bochim, and they wrote to the Rebbe. They wanted to give the Rebbe matana for his anniversary, 30 years. And the matana is that they'll give him a sikha every week, but the Rebbe should be magia. And they found an excuse for it. Since the Rebbe wanted that he should go chazak chassidus in the shul, you need material. So he asked the Rebbe that he was magia sikha. At first, the Rebbe was upset, even for the shayla. Rabbi Chadakov called in the people, and he said to them, the Rebbe has no time. If he'll do this, he'll have to take away time from answering private people letters. Pikuach nefesh. How do you expect? He was angry. How do you expect that? Why do you do such a thing? The Rebbe should take away time from answering people's shaylas in sakonis nefashos for this. Now the Bochrim were verstandige, and they answered. That's Pikuach nefesh begashmis. This is Pikuach nefesh beruchnis. And the Rebbe said, okay, Ibazei, I'll do it. So what they did was, maybe Rabbi Yael would take a sikha, not from the Fabrengen of that Shabbos, or whatever. A Fabrengen, looking back, this was Tov Yud Ches, any sikha from the years from beginning of Tov Yud till then, that fit to the Parsha, and just take the Hanoche, and give it in, take out some things, because when you speak certain things, you say Derech Agav, you say, take out all these things and leave it. And the Rebbe was for 1 year, this happened before Shavuos Tov Yud Ches. And it went down for a year to Shavuos Tov Yud Tes. There was Magi every week. And it came out stenciled, it wasn't even printed. And it was, those that remember, it was the green cover, stenciled, and it said on top, Teichen in Yoni Bedach Lasse Berbatach Nisiyas. So I feel going to Chakira, what the Pshat the The word goes like this, on top it's a Teichen, then it goes in Yoni Bedach Lasse Berbatach Nisiyas. Is it, do you have to read it, Teichen in Yoni Bedach? Or Teichen, what is the Teichen of this pamphlet? In Yoni Bedach Lasse Berbatach Nisiyas. Look, again, along this Trachten. Anyway, and that's how it came out. At the end of that year, the Rebbe stopped. He had no time. But besides that, they say, and he complained that people weren't learning it enough for the Rebbe to give up his time. And I can guarantee you that when he gave up his time, he didn't take away from answering Pikuach Nefesh Shaylos. He probably took away time from his eating, from his sleeping, from other things that he did, for his own things. Had to be worth it, that should be. And besides that, to be honest, you can say the truth, the signon, the way it was written, was mamash like it's a hanocha from Fabrengen. The way the Rebbe said it. There is two things. There is the way a person speaks, and then the way it's written as a sefer. And the Rebbe so the Rebbe stopped. Those pamphlets, we call it, or the kutim, that came out that year, they printed it up, and it turned into Chelik Aleph and Beis of Likutei Sichos. They took it, the ones on the Parsha, they started it not from Shavuos, because even though it started from Amidbar, I think it started from Reishis, and that became the Tukrach. A few years passed, and they tried again. And again, they wrote to the Rebbe, this was for Tov Shin Chov Gimel. And the Rebbe again agreed. This time already, what they did was they already had somebody, Misagnin, that's the way this means that they wrote it, and Misagnin means somebody who could write proper Yiddish, and who could write it in a way, was, nicht v'miret. And the Rebbe was stuck happy, it was Misagnin. But here it started a little bit more, that the Rebbe wanted, that not only you should write what he said, look into the Makeres, see. And when you look in, besides taking what he answered after the Fabrengen, you have to incorporate that, but take more, look in and see, and you'll see there's much more, and then ask me. There are a lot of times he said things which he himself wrote. That's the Astira to them. The Moshe once, this is, as much as it's a little bit embarrassing, that once the Shem Tov decided to take the Anochas that we gave out, because from Tov Shin Chov Vav on, we started making, we had a group of us, a few people who gave out the Anochas, we call it Anochas, like I said, to start being mefarsim in the yeshivas. And he gave him to the Rebbe, and he wrote to the Rebbe and mefarsim in the yeshivas. And the Rebbe answered not to do it. And he wrote to him, why? Limreis kol azhores, kol ashgiyes, hoiches al cheshbeini. As much as every page, if you took the Molek Hanochas, every page at the bottom, the Rebbe wanted, should said, Hanoche bilti mugir. So we used to write Hanochas at mimi bilti mugir. But there are mistakes there, for sure. When you write Hanoche, sach hakol it is what you remember. Maybe you don't remember properly. What you understand, maybe you didn't understand right. I mean, it's everything totally in those people who wrote it. So there are definite mistakes. So the Rebbe wrote, Kol Ashgiyas Hilchas Al Cheshbeini. People won't say, oh, this time there was wrong, they wrote it, made a mistake. The Rebbe made a mistake. And he wrote, Lamoshel, this Sikha that you just gave in, there is a stira to this Sikha from a Shulchan Aruch, in a Shulchan Aruch. Now, obviously the Rebbe is not by every Fabring and everything he mentions, he's not going to say Kol HaTerakula, but enter now stira, it's not possible. But when you give it out, and he didn't even write what the Torah says. So the Rebbe wanted that they should look into it, as the Rebbe, and the Rebbe is setting to try to see if you could figure out the pshat, and then ask me. Or you'll be right, or you'll be wrong, and I'll fix it. So those Tov Shechal Gimel from Breishis started coming down with the Sichos again, and it came out again for a year. And that turned in afterwards, Chelik, Gimel, and Dalet with the Sichos. And you see that the Signet is already a little bit different. It's already more, it's written professional. The other one is just, was Meret. And also you see a lot of more orders there, because the Rebbe wrote more orders, and there were other questions more asked the Rebbe about it. Sometimes if you ask a question, the Rebbe, see if you ask a question, and the Rebbe doesn't expect you to know the answer, so fine, he would answer. But if the Rebbe expected you to know the answer, he wouldn't let it go through. He would give a chelik she'ein komei. You can't imagine. Okay, we'll get to that soon. But Lepel, this is the sichas of those years, Chav Gimel. After Chav Gimel, it stopped again, and for a few years in a row, it stopped. The Vad La'afotz HaSichas, which was the Vad that was involved in giving out the sichas, Rabbi Yael was the one that wrote it. Rabbi Heshke Dubravsky and Hesky Gansberg were the ones that were Mesagnin it. But the ones that gave it out was the Vad. A few people at the Vad about the sichas would send out every week a likud to 10,000 addresses, yeshivas to different places. So what did they do? They took the old sichas that was mugir from before, from Chelik Aleph, Chelik Beis, Chelik Gimel, Chelik Dalet, and sent it out. Okay, this went on till it came to Tov Shin Chov Tes. Tov Shin Chov Tes they were also sending out. Came one parsha, the first one was Shmeis, I think. There was nothing to send out. That week there was nothing to send out because everything that's printed, that's shaykhs, so the parsha already was sent out in the the years. So what do? And Bechlal, this was a good excuse to write to the Rebbe, if we don't have a sich to this parsha, would the Rebbe be Magia this week? They gave it to the Rebbe, Rabbi Yael wrote the Sicha, gave it to the Rebbe, lo and behold, said Garbet, and the Rebbe was Magia the Sicha for that Shabbos, a new Sicha. Like, man, so a new Sicha. Geht doch noch ein paar Wochen. Sie macht sich weiter. That you don't have a Sicha to give out. And gave it to the Rebbe again, and the Rebbe was again Magia. So there are not so many, but there are a few Sichas from that year. It came out in Tov Shin Chov Tes. And then already it didn't come out stenciled, it came out printed, with the cover called Likutei Sichos. By the way, who gave it the name Likutei Sichos? I don't know. It started after the Tovshin Yud Ches, when the pamphlets came out every week. At the end of the year, they had a lot of copies of each one left over, so they bound them. It was under Tzachden. They bound them and they gave out the volumes of those bound, and they called it Likutei Sichos. So I don't know if the Rebbe told them to call it, or I've never heard, or themselves, but that's how it's called. Here it was already officially called Likutei Sichos, and the Sichos came out for these few Shabbos. And then when it came to the year Tovshin Lamed, Shin to Rebbe, now we don't have Bechlal. Would the Rebbe be Magia? And the Rebbe agreed. So Tovshin Lamed, every week they gave him the Sicha, and here already was with more Shilas, and looking into the Inyan deeper and trying to asking the Rebbe Shilas so much that you see that the Sichas went out for Tovshin Lamed and Lamed Aleph, and a little bit of Tovtes, which by the way, some people ask, oh, the Shilas, how come in some parashas there are 3 Sichas? We know that from Chelik Hey to Chelik Tes, every week is 2. Why is it 2? Because those are the Sichas that came out in 2 years. How come a few of them have 3? Because the ones that came out, those few that came out of Tes, went into this Sefer. So here already, you see more questions and arguing back and forth with the Rebbe. The Rebbe was Magia each Sicha twice. They would prepare the Sicha for the Rebbe, and after it was prepared, which means very lot of work was put in, looking into what's made the Rebbe Taki. And a lot of times it's shooting, sometimes it's much more. Then you take the Tzetlach that the Rebbe answered, to incorporate that into it. A lot of times the Tzetlach were deeper, much more, sometimes even different than what the Rebbe said. Sometimes even different. And the Rebbe told Rabbi Yoel and Yechidus once, that sometimes I answer you on a Tzetla and it looks like it's different than what I said by Fabrengen, because you think he said that when I finish the Fabrengen, I'm finished Inyan, I'm finished with this Inyan. I still keep on looking into this Inyan, I still continue learning this. But ich halt schon weiter, and him is more in Yonim already, more. And when you were asked the Shaila 3 days later, the Rebbe halt schon weiter, so he answers you that a lot of times you couldn't understand what's he answering. But then you realize, that's what the Rebbe told him. The Rebbe told him, before you write in the Shailas, you should speak to somebody else to discuss it. So he says, I do. The Rebbe asked me, who? So he said, Leibel Shapiro. So the Rebbe started smiling. Chatalmid. So what are you going to expect from him? The Chatalmid. You have to speak to somebody who's outside verkehrt. So then you'll come out and you'll see Svaras verkehrt. So I had asked him, I'm not even starting. And this went on for 2 years, Tovshin Lamed and Lamed Aleph. When that was over, Tovshin Lamed and Lamed Aleph, the Rebbe stopped being Magia. The Rebbe spoke about it by Fabrengen, and he said the reason he stopped is because he made himself a siman, a ganze Meisen, and the main thing was that the ones that writing the Sikha has other things which is for him more important, and he couldn't do both. It's impossible, it's not a solution. Rebbe could do it. The Rebbe couldn't, and he had to write that Sefer Eirkim, which was very, very important for the Rebbe. Very important. It's a kama timing. So the Rebbe said, I can't be Magi the Sikh anymore. And they wrote settled to the Rebbe all kinds of things, that how could he stop it, and all kinds of begging and pleading. But for bringing the Rebbe said, "Mit geschrieben, Masber geben, wie gut es ist." The Rebbe darf nicht Masber sein, ich weiß auch nicht. But whatever reason he had. Came that summer of Lamed Beis, Lamed Beis. A few of us got together and decided, inside, maybe we'll try ourselves. The Rebbe said that he shouldn't be involved in it. We could be involved, but he shouldn't be the one to write. And we already had some experience because together with him we worked. So it was 3 people. It was Nachman Shapiro and Leibel Kavanagh, and myself. There were 2 people who were involved in the Gashmis, in the running it, the piping it, everything. That was Shalom Jacobson, it was all Mechani. But the 3 of us sat down, we made zwischen ourselves, we're on our own. Sit down, let's try to ask the Rebbe, we'll make the Sichos, would the Rebbe be Magia or not? And try to do it. But you can't just ask the Rebbe, you have to show some sample. So we sat down during the summer and we prepared Reishis, Neyach, Lech B'chol, Yerach, Hayisara, Teildis, Vayetze, 7 Sichos. And we thought maybe we should even do it in Lashon Kodesh. Actually, I was very much pushing it for Lashon Kodesh, for a simple reason, because, first of all, in Eretz Yisrael, a lot of the Hafotz is in Eretz Yisrael, and many people don't speak Yiddish. Number two, the problem is why a lot of people didn't look at it. You ever hear a Sefer in Yiddish? Zeneren is in Yiddish. Meiser Bichel is in Yiddish. But in Yiddish, people don't look at it. That's Lashon Kodesh. So we decided, let's try it in Lashon Kodesh. And we asked the Rebbe, not at that time, just mentioning it now, but it was a time later, the Rebbe was asked, does he care? Does he want it in Lashon Kodesh or in Yiddish? And the Rebbe's answer was these two words, Ein Nafkamina. So from the Rebbe's side, there was no Nafkamina. Anyway, we prepared these 7 sichas, gave it into the Rebbe, to the middle of the summer, towards the end of the summer. And we wrote to the Rebbe that this is what we're able to do. And we're asking the Rebbe to be Magia, again. We're going on a Woch, 2, 3, ein Keil, ein. There is no answer, nothing. Came Tishrei, expect the Rebbe Tishrei with such a Shaykhs. Came Yishan HaRabba, because by the Rebbe we knew from different times that Yishan HaRabba at night, after the Rebbe finished saying Chumash Dvarim, before he went down to Tilim, was a Zman Mesugel where he would Magia Sikha. If there was a Sikha, something that had to be Magia, that was a crime. So we said to ourselves, Yishan HaRabba, we expected the Rebbe should answer, should give it out. Shteim and alle drei, alle finif, standing by the door of Ganet Natachten, they're waiting. Before Tilim, Rabbi Groner went into the Rebbe, came out. We expected him to come out. Nothing. Was tut man? That's I'm telling you behind the scenes. Decided that Simchas Torah by Koshel Brocha will protest. I say protest. We're going to all 5 of us walk together and go to the Rebbe. We're all 5 walking. The Rebbe looks at us. And the Rebbe knew, because we wrote our names, those years he used to give a bottle of mashke to the shluchim or to mezdis, takes the bottle of mashke, gives it to Reb Zalman Chaim, gives it into his hand, ta greis nishmeichel, das is verwarla for tzesiches. Oh, he left, this is not nishmeich mir oimdik. Simchas Torah that year was, I think, Monday and Tuesday. So we thought, okay, Shem Rabba. What's the day after Simchas Torah? Morgen, after the Kosher Bracha. So we thought, after such a smile, what's going to happen tomorrow? The Rebbe is going to come and be Sicha from the house Mugi. So we saw 70. We're waiting there. We came early. Most people weren't there. No Chazak Fabrengen, Kosher Bracha. And we were waiting. The Rebbe came, and the Masker, whoever it was, went into the Rebbe, came out. Nothing. He said, Wednesday. And if we want to start, it has to start from Parsha Bereshis. So we decided, again, there's a Loshen, Chazal, Chutzpah, Klappe, Shmaya, Mahana. Maybe to do some chutzpah, but by the Rebbe, to do some chutzpah is a risk, Shein Komeyu. If sie matzliach, is matzliach. Und Tome nicht. It's not shaykh, but Rebbe, it's not. Malchus, you don't start up with. I mean, it's not. It's serious on Malchus. You can't. It wasn't. But we said we'll try. We'll take a risk. We made a copy of Bereshis. We gave him Bereshis, and we wrote a little settle to it, and we wrote like this. We are planning to print this for Shabbos. And as if saying, you want to be Magia, be our guest. We didn't say these words, obviously. But we wrote, we're giving it out for Shabbos. And we're asking them to Magia, but we said not. We're asking if Magia, we're printing this. And we gave it in. And the Platz, you can imagine, we didn't know, it wasn't the Kenzain, it's Kenzain. Gay Durch, I don't remember, Porsche, it's a halben Tag. Rebbe was Magia, the Sich, and gave it out. Oh, we also wrote, I remember that Zegi said, Asach Orchim, especially be something new. Rebbe was Magia. You can't imagine the Simcha that we had, the Rebbe was Magia, the Sich. But then we still weren't sure till the next Shabbos that maybe, like, since we wrote it's from Gate to Orchim, are here for Tishrei, maybe it's not. Pale came next Shabbos. There was Magia, the second Sich, and that's how it started. This was Tov Shimam and Gimel. And it was Moshe Kedesh, and the Rebbe went on for 2 years like this, and was Magia. Then it stopped for another year. It looks like the Rebbe didn't want to make the Chazokah. We don't know. For 3 years in a row. And then, Lamed Hey skip, Lamed Vov started, Lamed Vov, Lamed Zayin, and it went down from there till Chav Zayin Odeh, till Tovshin Nun Beis. Now, Tovshin Lamed Ches, which was the third year from this cycle, who knows what's going to be? Especially the Rebbe had a heart attack then. The Rebbe asked for the Sikha, laying in bed. They didn't want to give him brachis. The Rebbe asked for the Sikha. And he was Magi the Sikha in bed. Actually, it's interesting to note that so you mean that the Rebbe will stop here also, especially the Harat. The Rebbe asked for the Sikha. Where's the Sikha? They're not giving him the Sikha. It could be he wanted to forget show that event was just falling off from the. And he was Magi the Sikha. I remember the Sikha. I was already not there, but the Sikha for Parshas Noach. Again, he was Magi in bed. And if you know the Sikha Parshas Noach in Chelek Tes Vov, the famous Sikha where he talks about college, where he talks about Chochmas Chitzonius, learning Chochmas Chitzonius, is a Hachana to Mashiach. And in the middle there's a big sif, few paragraphs. And this is in Yiddish already because they went back to Yiddish. And there the Rebbe writes, as much as he's masbid that Chochmas Chitzonius is because it's Megala B'Savaya, because it's Gornish Tom the idea of being allowed to go to college. And it goes into the whole thing of in the college, all kinds of things. He wrote that laying in bed. I remember when I came from Miami after later, and I used to always come and look what that was. So I saw it was mamish scribbled. It was hard even to read because there his hand was shaking because he was laying in bed when he was Magi the Sikha. But it was Magi the Sikha then, Lamed Ches, and it went on like this till the end. Now, like I said before, working to prepare the Sikha for the Rebbe expected that it should be Dor Sholem, and that's why if something sometimes was not so as the way the Rebbe would expect you to do, the Rebbe would. Moshel is an example that I give many times. I said mentioned many times. I'm sure you heard it. This is one of the lighter things that the Rebbe in the Sikha mentions that the word Knani means a seicher. Not a Knani, but a seicher. Actually, the Mokher, this is a posik. Knani biyode means memirmo. But Rashi in Chumash, in Parsha Vayeshev, where it says that he married the Vasish Knani, Rashi says Tagra. So I remember the Maramokim is that we wrote, because the Rebbe wanted them, and he mentioned Maramokim Chazal, and it's a big Maramokim. So we wrote the Maramokim, the posik, Knani biyode means memirmo. So the Rebbe in his Magia, he added to the Maramokim Rasha in Parsha Vayeshev, and then he wrote on the side, "V'chi af echad mikem ein alein betchitas." Like you guys didn't know this Rasha, and this was from the easier ones. The word mavhil was pretty common. Sometimes a big word, sometimes with one exclamation point, sometimes two, sometimes three. Actually, when you see, even in the Shilas, you look in the Shilas here, I was thinking, should I read this one or not? Because I think it has this. This is the Chaim Commission of these guys. Look, page 7 on the bottom. Look at page 7 at the bottom. The Shilah here, what does Rebbe write? Mavil. How do you translate Mavil in English? Shocking. Yeah. Shocking. Harei mefurish. You see the word mefurish 3 times underlined. Harei mefurish because of Shecholim Yaakov Klau. And in this shyness, I think there was another one. I don't know if that's part of what we need a copy of. Moshe, take the bottom of this of page 6. This is not Fabrengen, this is only Shaila. The Rebbe writes here. Yeah, the Shaila was asked. Maya Shaykhas lam duber bisvadas. Maya kushim melachatchila al pipshat. The Rav Yankiv, whatever there goes into the Inyan. And the Seder used to be, when you gave him the Rebbe to Magi the Sikha, so you understood the pshat the way you thought the pshat was, honestly. then sometimes the Rebbe changed it. Sometimes he left it. The Rebbe would Magia once, and then give it out, and then when you give it back, the second time, what did they do? They took the Sikha the way it was given in typed. After the Rebbe made the changes, like the Kundi with the sofas and all that everything, it was aufgesetzt through a printing machine on what we call gellies, lange gellies. There were one of these yellow gellies that used to be, and were given to the Rebbe a second time. There were some times that the Rebbe was Magia, added the second time more than it was in the first. The Moshel. Look here. See, first 2 pages, the reason I brought these 2 pages is because since in Yeshivas we learned V'achana this year, we learned Shpesich Shabbos, and this Sicha, V'achana B'chelik Dalet, is Mamash HaYiseidetik Sicha in Shpesich Shabbos, in the whole union of Akira B'Fanochem, Chotzi Shir, Chotzi Maloche, all kinds of very Yiseidetik Shabbos. So that's why I picked just 2 pages of this. So this is like the first Agod. So you see, this is the first Agod. The Sicha went in like this. This was taken off from the Fabrengen, plus the Zettel that the Rebbe added, and wrote, and usually used a lot. And the Rebbe fixed, you can see Poshla has medayik in words. And this is the first 2 pages here, and this went on more. Then this page 3 and on, that's not from Veschanan, that's from Parsha Kiseitze. In Parsha Kiseitze, the Rebbe was Magia the second time much stronger than the first. You could see a few pages, this is not all. You see? Page 3, 4, 5. 5. All this the Rebbe wrote into the Sikha. Take this home and compare it to the Lika. Go open the Sefer and look. And you see, all that, all this the Rebbe wrote. And here all the Zaytik Gezachen, all the things at the side. And now you have a finished product afterwards, and then you will see what the Rebbe said. So they used to give in, Rebbe, and ask Shilas, and just like you have Shilas have this Fabrengen, there would be Shilas on this. Actually, this 2 days ago, I just happened to notice by me, one of the Fabrengen, one of the Kutim, actually from Pasha Pinchos, where Rebbe was Magia, when they gave in the second time to Magia,